Hey guys, what's up? Man, it's like 7 o'clock right now, 7:30 I think, and there's crickets because I'm not going anywhere. My car's not starting. I was at the gym, was there for about an hour. It started, I drove and I got a text from somebody. So I kind of pulled over, checked out turned it off, and I had a long response and tried to turn on my car and nothing. I mean, I've tried like 15 times throughout this whole entire ordeal, and this car's not starting. Everything works. I mean, the lights on my dash, everything's lighting up. My radio works. So I'm getting power. Essentially, is what I'm saying. I'm getting power. Blower motor works. I'm getting power. But this car is not cranking. This car is not cranking. I originally I thought maybe my battery's low. Maybe my battery's low. So I went out, had my headlights on. I went out because I could see my headlights because it's kind of dark right now. I could see my headlights, and my headlights are good from from inside the car. So, but just in case, I went out. I checked out, just to see what the headlights are dim or not, and the headlights are full brightness. I'm like, okay, it's probably not the battery then, because it's full brightness, it's probably not the battery. But I'm not 100% certain. So I went and I fetched my jumper, my battery pack, my jumper pack that I got from Walmart. And it should work on this car. Anyway, I hooked it up, tried jump it a couple of times. Nothing. I mean, I did try to get somebody to help me out, but I'm like at this apartment complex. There's nobody around. And I'm like 99% sure that my battery's not the problem, considering it's lighting up pretty good. And, my jumper pack is at like 75%. So, probably not the battery. But I did get the battery changed out about a year ago, so it's probably not the battery. I think I can rule out the battery. At this point, I think. I mean, it'd be great if I could get somebody to jump my car for me, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that considering the way it's parked right now. I'm actually parked, there's a car in front of me, but whatever. So over the last 40 minutes, I'm like trying to figure out what the problem is. So I don't think it's the battery. Didn't think it was the battery. I was thinking maybe it was the alternator, but my car wasn't on. I shut my car off, trying to turn my car on, but the car's, it's normally, I've had my alternator die out on me, and normally it's when my engine is on, at least my engine is on, and the car's running, and it just starts losing power and it just dies out. But if it was the alternator, I think when I put my battery pack on it, I should be able to just start up the car. It'll run as long as it's, connected to the battery pack. But once I take it off, the car should die out on me. But that's not the case because I'm not actually getting a crank at all. I'm not even hearing like a weak crank. So I can rule out the battery at this point and the alternator because I've got 75% of my battery pack in. And even if it was too weak to start up the car, I should be able to just hear like a soft, weak crank, which I'm not hearing at all. I'm not hearing any of that stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, those aren't the issues. I'm pretty sure those aren't the issues. So I'm thinking to myself. All right, guys. Okay, so. Back to what I was saying on this car. So I think I got like 2 things that's left for me to figure out. Well, 3 things. I'm hoping it's not the other thing. the one that I changed up like 8 months ago. But so basically, I got the relay and the fuse. All right. Now, I am hearing a click. Like every time I try to start the car up, I am hearing a click. I gotta tell you, it gets fainter and fainter every time, but I do hear a click every time I try to start up. I don't get a crank, but I do hear a click. So that tells me that it's not the relay, because basically the relay actually relays electricity to the starter. So you're hearing that click. It's the solenoid that's clicking. You know, the solenoid is getting electricity from the relay, but the motor is just not engaging. All right, it's getting a click. So I was hoping that it would be a relay so that I could just. I think there's an AutoZone around here, maybe. I don't know, but I was hoping that I could. That was it. I mean, I was hoping that was it. I don't think that's it. I could rule that out. So my last, well, second to last. No, but this is, you know, second to last. The last thing would be a headache for me to do, but this other thing is the fuse. Could it be the fuse that's causing this issue? So I've had problems with I've had issues, blown fuses where my car wouldn't start. I've had those situations come up like a couple of times, twice actually. One of those times, you know, everything was good. It cranked. I heard a crank. I hear a crank. You know, I hear a crank. When I had that issue with my other car where the fuse was blown, I heard a crank. It cranked up, but it wouldn't just turn over. It wouldn't start normally. Every time it would crank. So you know the starter was good on it. It just wouldn't turn over. And I think that fuse was either for the fuel pump, ECU, the car's computer. It has something to do with one of those two things. Swapped out the fuse and the car started normally. All right. That's not the case here because I'm not getting anything at all. I mean, well, I'm getting like lights and everything else working, electrical working, but I'm not hearing any kind of crank. The starter's not cranking. All right, so I could rule that scenario out. The other scenario of the fuse, I'm thinking, you know, I believe that situation occurred with a main blown fuse that was under the hood of the car that I had before. I had no electricity in the car whatsoever. It's like I had no battery connected to the car, and found out that that fuse was blown, swapped it out. Everything worked as normal, but that's not the situation here, considering I am getting electricity, but the car won't crank up. Okay, so now at this point, I've ruled out almost everything that could possibly rule out 99% of it, except for the starter. All right, and I was hoping it's not the starter because I got that changed up like I got that changed up like I think a year ago or something like that. I got it changed up, but it was pretty recent, relatively recent, like about a year ago. I had that changed up. Got a rebuilt starter from AutoZone, had that installed. It's kind of been working fine. Except you know, I think the last month I had this one situation where I had this kind of the same scenario, but I would have to try to start the car up a couple of times, like 4 or 5 times before it cranked up. I haven't had that situation since. I thought it, you know, maybe I left some lights on in the interior or something like that, but I haven't had that situation since. Until today, I tried until today where, you know, about an hour ago, 40 minutes ago, whatever, I tried starting it up after, you know, nothing. And I tried 15 times, nothing. So, I guess at this point, I gotta call a tow truck. I'm almost positive that it's the starter that went out on me, which kind of sucks. because now I got to get another starter. Well, I think it's warranted, so I don't. But that's not the problem. The problem is I gotta spend either some time to put it in myself or pay somebody to do it, and that amounts to money. You know, time is money on my part, and then I gotta pay somebody to do it. That's money that I wouldn't normally have to do. I think that's the situation with this car at this point. And I would be really, really disappointed if that was the case. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst situation in the world with a car. But considering I changed the starter out about a year ago, this would be a bad situation because a starter job's going to run me at least over $100. I'm pretty sure, if not a bit higher than that. Or it's probably going to take me a couple hours to do it myself, which is going to suck. I'm going to call AAA. That's not going to cost me anything, but I would rather not use AAA. I would rather not use that up, you know, that trip up for this kind of situation where a starter should last quite a while. Like quite a while, meaning a couple, like over 100,000 miles. This starter lasted me, I only put in like, I don't know, 12,000 miles in this car since I had the starter installed. Which kind of sucks, but I'm gonna call AAA right now because I tried everything I could possibly try. I don't think I'll be able to get somebody to help me jump this car, so that's not gonna work. So at this point, I'm gonna have to call AAA and have them help me tow this car. So I mean, I would prefer to have somebody, you know, jump me just to make sure that it's not 100% the battery, but I'm pretty sure it's not the battery at this point, but I'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, so it was what you guys thought it was. It was what I thought it was, which was the starter. Really, really sucks. It really, really sucks because I had to I did this myself. I had to take the starter out, you know, go to AutoZone, have it replaced. I had a few words with them about it. It was warranted, so I got another one for free. It was rebuilt. I mean, for me to get a brand new one, I had to shell out like close to $300 for it, which I didn't want to do. Got another rebuilt one. If I had the choice, I probably would not be putting this rebuilt starter in, but I have no choice. My other option would be to call AutoZone to get it on eBay. That's gonna take at least a couple of days at best, and I don't have time to waste with this. So went to AutoZone, you know, exchanged the starter, put it in, because I did a bunch of tests on the starter. What I did was I bumped it a couple of times when I got home, had a long crowbar, was able to actually get to it before I actually swapped it out. You know, try to jump it, didn't work. Try to jump it with another one of my cars, it didn't work. So I had to change it up myself. It took a couple of hours for me to do it. Other test I did on that old starter was I actually hooked up a line to it, to the solenoid, try to crank it up directly, didn't work. Took it to AutoZone, had them test it out, didn't work. So it was definitely the starter that was the problem. If you guys are still watching this, if I can tell you guys anything about rebuilt stuff, rebuilt starters, rebuilt alternators, it's this. All right, you're always taking your chances. Well, you're taking your chances with everything, but you're taking more of a chance. Considering when they replace the starter, what they do is, when they rebuild the starter, what they do is they rebuild it with new parts, but only the parts that are broken. They don't do a whole replacement of every single thing on that starter, or every single important thing on that starter. So you can have like one part that's broken, maybe a wire or whatever on that starter that's broken, and like the rest of the 99% of that starter, it's got whatever mileage it had on it, before it broke down on you. So there's a good chance that that starter is going to fail something else is gonna fail on you, you know, fairly, you know, it's gonna something. You're taking more of a chance. You guys know what I mean by that, all right? But I'm glad this whole scenario is over. I'm hoping this starter lasts me a lot longer. Crossing my fingers, because I don't want to be, you know, doing this job again when I'm taking out the starter, putting it back. I don't want to be doing that again, you know, until like over 100,000 miles from now on this car, because it really, you know, getting another free starter, I don't really care for that. I really don't, because that's not the point. The point is I'm actually putting in time or money to change up a part that should last me over 100,000 miles, and it didn't. It sucks. So, but if you guys have any comments, you know, please leave me a comment. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, take care.